All right, everyone, this is Dr. J. Welcome to the APA guidelines for references. Yes, references at this point. We are going to be talking about references today because this relates to your video in Project One. So what we're going to do today is just walk through at a very high level some of the nuances and things to consider. So let's get to it. There we go. So references are, at least in APA style formatting, are usually listed at the end of the paper. There's no bibliography section like they may have in other formats like MLA, Chicago, etc. But there's usually a section at the very end of your paper that's called references, similar to the image that you see in front of you. Notice it's just the word references in bold, and then you have your references listed below in alphabetical order. That's a key message here. It is listed in alphabetical order. But the idea of a reference page is that you will have a reference for every single resource that you use in your paper, right? So if you use 3 references, then you should have in your paper, let me rephrase it. If you have 3 references that you're using it to make your paper, then you should have 3 references in your reference section. If you have a citation, all of your citations in, which you will all have citations, by the way, all of your citations in your paper will then point back to a reference in this reference page. So the point is the reference section is super important because this is where you're going to put in most of your detail. Now, to keep things very simple here, folks, I'm going to kind of give you, again, the abridged version because when it comes to reference fundamentals, just know that if you are referencing a journal article, regardless of whether it's a print journal, a digital journal, um, one with a DOI indicator, which is a digital object indicator, aka a link, an identifier that's used in certain databases. With or without it doesn't make a difference. The point is, if you reference a journal article, you'll be able to properly cite it in your paper using APA citations, and you'll be able to provide reference for it at the end of your uh, paper. Same thing with books, regardless of whether it's print or digital, or even if you use other online or digital documentation. Now, this is important because when you look at the basic form of a reference, the reference is going to be dependent upon the type of document that you are using, whether it's print or digital, whether it's a journal or a book or ebook, or it's a website, or if you're using video. Um, each one of those variations has its own unique requirements for a reference. Now, we're not going to be able to cover all of those in this video, but to kind of give you the gist of it, right? Here's an example. We have a basic form for an article. And in the basic form of an article, if you look on top, you have here is your author. In this case, possibly multiple authors, the year of publication, the title of the article, followed by the title of the periodical, the volume number, issue number, and pages. So to make this really explicit and clear, an example here is the author was Scruton, R. Scruton, who wrote this article in 1996, right? Like this is the proper format for this. The title is The Eclipse of Listening. Notice that the title is in pretty much in sentence case, with the exception of the first letter of the sentence, everything else is in lowercase. You have the volume, the periodical that it's from, the volume and issue number, followed by the page numbers where this article can be found, with a period at the end. So again, I'm giving you these guides to help you kind of formulate your answers and responses. The good news is you can easily get this information from some of the online journals and databases, but if you don't, you should at least know the format. Now, again, these formats can also be found in the Purdue OWL, as well as the apa.org website as well. So again, the author, the year of publication, the article title, the journal title, the volume and issue number, along with the page number. This is your basic form for an article. Now, when it comes to an article that's in an electronic journal or an e-article or just an online article, you will see similar formatting, but now you see the inclusion of what's called a DOI number. This is a digital object indicator. And not all journal articles have a DOI. Some do, many do, but if not, that's okay. The point is, if it's available, you should include it. So a good example here is these are the authors. Notice it's the last name of the authors that's included, not the first name. You do not in APA put the first name of the author. It's always the last name. And if you have multiple authors, you list each one, and each one, it's just their last name followed by the first initial of their first name. So in this case, Denny, Nordloff, and Salem in 2018 wrote this article on tell me exactly what it was that I was doing that was so bad. In this case, from understanding the needs and expectations of working class students in writing centers. This is from Writing Center Journal, the 37th volume, issue 1, on page 67 to 98. And then this example, we have a JSTOR element that was included. If it's a book, again, you'll see that a book doesn't need to include all that, but it still includes the basic elements. The author, the year of the publication, the title of the work, publisher name in this case, which is different, and a DOI if available, if it's an ebook. If it's not included. So, for example, author, year, article, title, and the publisher. Pretty straightforward. If it's an edited book, the editors go first, followed by the year, the article title in question, and the publisher. So again, it really varies greatly depending on the type of article that you're using. That's why, especially for your reference section, if you're not sure where to begin, you should be looking again at all your different options. Again, if you're looking at a article or chapter inside of an edited book, which could happen for some of you, you still include the author, year of publication, the article title. Sorry, it's been a very long time recording this late in the evening on Saturday. The editors, because again, it is a edited book. We're pulling a chapter and article from an edited book, and there are specific editors. So you have to include them here. And then you have the page number along with the publisher. But you also put in the title, which I didn't capture here from looks of it. Oh, there we go. The title, there's the book title, and then there's the article title. So you have to make sure that you know where things are. When it comes to a web page, it's pretty easy. Author, publication, title, the site name, and the URL, or Universal Remote Locator. Again, online digital basic form, if you do this for a web page or a piece of online content by a group or an organization, you put the title of the page in some cases, site name, and other information. If it's a news article, you need to include where it's from. Like in this example from the Washington Post. So you would have the title of the article with the author's last name, but notice that you have to include year, month, and date. The point of this video is not for me to cover every single possible item here, but to really just highlight to you some of the options that are available. Now, I'm going to stop this presentation at this point because I'm going to show you an easy way. Because some of you, your eyes might be glazing over right now as you're looking at all this. So let me stop here. I'm going to go to, the Guarini Library. Again, and one of the benefits of using databases like EBSCOhost or using databases like WorldCat, or whatever database, library database that you use, is I can go and do a search. And in this example, okay, I can actually view, for example, an ebook or an article, and I can cite it. Now, the beauty of doing this, right, when I cite something, I can go to select the appropriate APA style, which in this case happens to be APA 7th edition. It'll give me a potentially, keyword potential, variation of what I'm looking for. Now, sometimes I have found that these are not always in the correct format, and this example is clearly off for a variety of dozen reasons, but you could copy the citation. Let me show you an example of one where I know, for example, I'm going to do one of my old publications, which I know doesn't exist at the Guarini Library. I'll pull myself up. So here's my thesis dissertation. Let's say, you know what? Why not? We'll do that one. This is my dissertation that I did back in 2018. So I'm just gonna, let's say I was using this. This is a thesis document. It's a research paper. I'm gonna cite it, and it pretty much gives me a lot of the information already included. So I don't have to go guess. I don't have to figure it out. And I can copy and paste it. I can copy the citation and put it into my Word document. Again, I would still review the formatting on the Purdue OWL or web page just to make sure that I have proper formatting. Sometimes these databases are missing information, so it may not be 100% accurate, but it's going to get you started, which is super important. And if you're not sure what formatting to use, again, you could go to the Purdue OWL, go to the APA section. I'm going to come here, look here at the reference list. So let's say this was a article. Yeah, a reference list for articles and periodicals. I got reference for electronic resources, right? I got so many different options here. So I'm just going to, for example, in this case, let's go to the basic rules. And I can basically go through and see, what are some of the rules, right? That's great and wonderful, but let's just go to the reference section on articles and periodicals. Ta-da! And it'll give me a basic imprint of what the form should look like, vice versa. So great option here for me to be able to really make sure that I fill in any missing blanks. But getting it from the database, whether it's using NJCUs or the EBSCOhost library, again, find your article or book, click on Cite, choose the appropriate citation format, which is, again, APA 7th edition, and at least you can copy the citation and paste it and then you can validate that it's correct using tools like the Purdue OWL. I hope this helps, folks. I hope it gives you some options of how to best access your reference tools, so you can put them into your paper. That's all I have for now, folks. Thanks again. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.